Hi there. So today we're taking a look at the rear prop shaft. There's a little play on the joints. Up front here it's got marginal play, but it's purely axial. Same in this direction, and this doesn't harm too much. Pretty normal on this type of joints, as there's no real bearing in axial direction. This one, however, has a bit torsional play, if I may call it so, which is a clear sign of a bearing on its way out. So this one we're going to change out. First we're going to undo the U-bolts. You can see this type of joint is pressed into the prop shaft on this side, and the yoke in this side rests in a U-bolt with 2 knots in it, so it's very easy removal. Just take the 2 U-bolts off and you're set. And there it is. So this joint here, I can see from the type of clips, is still original joint, which means I haven't replaced this in the time I've had the car, which is about 4 years. Key to keeping these joints healthy is grease, grease, grease. Grease them when you're traveling in dust and dirt. You have to grease them at least once every week. If you're driving with your prop shaft submerged now and again, so river crossings, mud, even more often. Grease is the key to keeping these guys healthy. So now we need to get this whole joint out of the prop shaft, which is mounted with a press fitment. So first of all, we want a big socket to lay underneath. So we're going to hammer the joint one way. This one fits pretty nicely. Then on top we want a socket that fits into this recess here, so right on top of the bearing joint. Fits pretty nicely. Then we're going to hammer away. You can see it's coming out slowly, but it's coming. Okay. Now we want to take this bearing cup off. It doesn't always go that easy. There we go. There we go. Now we can take the joint out and put in a fresh one. make sure you get the grease nipple facing the right way, pointing the right way. You can see it's under a slight angle towards one side. Make sure to get it right. If you don't, you have to dismount your prop shaft every time you want to grease it, which is quite a struggle. Always check inside the bearing caps if all the needles are still sitting along the wall. Often, due to handling the cups, one of the needles falls down into the bed, and then you need to fish it out with a small screwdriver. So make sure you get those right. The needles are not sitting right. Check twice. Because if you put it in with one needle fell to the bottom and you start hammering in the joint, you will fuck up the whole bearing. So make sure you get it right. You can hear it click. Now, the tricky part, we're going to hammer it in. Gently. Now we're going to insert one of the two circlips. See, as I was talking about, the new circlips slightly different than the old ones. Or the new ones are circlips, the old ones aren't really called circlips. Always check that the circlip is sitting in the recess properly. Often there's some dirt in the recess, you can see a little hair, which stops the circlip from settling in properly. If you then start hammering in the joint, you will just pop out the circlip on the other end. Now with the circlip in, we continue hammering. Hammer it down until you hear that it sits against the circlip on the other side. You can hear it from the noise the hammering makes. Once it sits against the circlip, that's enough. That's it. Don't force it against it. No more hammering. Leave it. And then insert the circlip on the other end. As you can see, we now have the new joint in place. Just gonna clean these two outer ends as some dirt has gathered from working on a sidewalk here. And then put on the last two cups. Again, be very careful, the needles are in the correct place and haven't fallen down in the cap. Now we are ready to put the prop shaft back under the car. you're gonna pump grease in it until you hear the cracking sound, like, or visually see the grease protrude beyond the seals of the joint. So you're sure it's reached every single nook and cranny of the bearing. I don't think you guys were able to hear the cracking sound on the camera, but it made a light, yeah, as I said, cracking sound. You can see, let me show you. You can see the grease has protruded beyond all the seals. So that's good, then we know there's grease in each of the 4 bearing compartments.